Hello, welcome to Commissioner's Corner. This will be the fourth episode. It's the meeting synopsis for the February 10th, 2026 meeting of the Calvert County Board of Commissioners. First thing we were able to do today, which was a rewarding thing, a fun thing, was to actually bring in Huntingtown High School's state championship football team and recognize them, give them a citation. For a period of time, we were unable to do that in our previous board hearing room just because of capacity-wise. It just wouldn't hold everybody. Then we did three proclamations after that. The first one on Black History Month. The second one was for Engineering Month. The third proclamation was for National Entrepreneur Month. And students came in from Huntingtown High School who are in Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA students. And Commissioner Hart did a great job, actually, explaining to them the challenges of owning your own business. But it was pretty well done. Moving on to new business, Department of Planning and Zoning proposed amendments to rules of procedure for the Board of Appeals. I actually had to recuse myself from this because my father's on the Board of Appeals. He's been on it for quite some time, actually, before I even thought about running for county commissioner. So I recused myself. However, the other board members, I believe, voted to make some changes to the way an attorney is appointed and some other changes, just procedural changes that the Board of Appeals had. Department of Public Safety, Volunteer Fire, and Emergency Medical Services Apparatus grant arrangements. We were actually dealing with documents that dated back to 1997 and 2002. We spent the last 18 months updating these documents, presented them to us, and what it really did was brought procurement procedures more in line with what they were 20 years ago. There's no cost associated with it. It was more or less just bringing that agreement up to speed. Department of Public Works, Maryland Water, Infrastructure, Financing, Administration, application for capital project, financial assistant, drinking water, and water quality projects was presented by our Water and Sewer Department. And what this is it's grants for low interest to zero interest loans to update infrastructure surrounding our water and sewer issues. One of the main things that came out of this one was there's a project that's been ongoing in the Highlands for several years. We actually don't know the cost of that project entirely, nor do we know how much the grant's going to fund. So there's a split necessary, and it's going to go into a special tax district. And this is just a step along the way that needed to be addressed during this meeting. We had a work session, Department of Planning and Zoning, Calvert County Strategic Highway Safety Plan. Jessica Catano came in, did a great job. She's revitalizing the Calvert County Traffic Safety Council. They actually have software that has provided them with up-to-date stats, up-to-date data. From my previous job as a deputy, you were lucky to have 2 to 3 year old data when you were trying to make decisions, whereas now they have the advantage of having 2 week data. And it's actually given Calvert County an opportunity to be a leader in the state of Maryland with providing this data. And she's gone around to the other counties in the state of Maryland to help them with similar programs. The Department of Planning and Zoning proposed text amendment changes to the Calvert County zoning ordinance. So let's take back to March 1st of 2025. That's when the zoning ordinance actually came on board. The new zoning ordinance was updated. They spent about 18 months updating it. The first text amendments were done in September 2025. And today it was either 23 or 24 text amendments brought before us. And they ranged everything from bringing the zoning ordinance changes in a line from state mandates. Like the first one was on tree replacement and buffers and talked about solar panels. It just went on and on and on. So really today we talked about a lot of different things through our zoning ordinance. It covered a lot of definition changes that needed to be made. There was a text amendment in there that we voted on in January 28th meeting to start something along the lines of if a data center did come to Calvert County, this is what we would require. It's kind of difficult because the data centers seem to be ever-changing. It's still new technology, and as soon as that new technology comes out, they're implementing it. An example, one of the things that was put in there, we talked about closed-loop cooling systems. And a closed-loop cooling system can actually cost you more money on the energy side of things than not having that closed-loop system. Now, the closed-loop system would be prohibited from having wells drilled in order to cool that data center, and that's written into that text amendment as well. But what I'm getting at is that text amendment is going to be forever changed, and we don't have a project, and we really don't know all the ins and outs of the data center and what's going to need to be put in there. But as I went in the beginning of this, we started with a brand new zoning ordinance in March. We updated in September. Here it is February. We're updating it again. So these things constantly are going to be changing. Public comment, we didn't have anybody comment today. It was very strange. We're always looking for public feedback. Please, by all means, if you want to say something, you're allowed 2 minutes on an individual or 5 minutes for a group. Commissioners' reports, that's followed. That was the end of our meeting, and then we went to closed session for exec session. Again, I hope this helps you. A very brief synopsis, again, of what went on in the meeting. However, if you do have questions on the text amendments that I've talked about, I would encourage you to go to the meeting and just slide through to the text amendments, and it'll answer your questions for what I just briefed you on. I know it was a lot. Just in a little bit of time, I talked about that one text amendment. But feel free, log on, take your time, watch it, and figure it out for yourselves. Thank you. Have a great day.